Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Amirul. I am a second year student majoring in web technology. In this video, I am going to reflect on what I have learned about web services, explain the technologies we use, walk through a project I built, the Gold Calculator web service, and explain important concepts like SOAP, WSDL, and how to use SOAP UI for testing. Web services allow different applications to talk to each other over the internet. They work using standard protocols like HTTP and exchange data in XML or JSON format. There are two main types of web service, which is the first one is SOAP, which stands for Simple Object Access Protocol. It uses a strict XML structure and operates through envelopes and body tags. The second one is REST, which stands for Representational State Transfer. Simpler and use standard HTTP methods like GET and POST, usually with JSON data. Web services make it possible for apps, even in different programming languages, to communicate and exchange data securely and reliably. One of the practical projects I developed was a SOAP-based web service called the Gold Calculator service. This service has one main method, which is count total price, float price per gram, float weight in gram. The goal is simple. Calculate the total price of gold based on its price per gram and the weight provided by the user. I created a SOAP web service in Java and deployed it so that users could access it through a web interface. For example, when user enters price per gram 30 and the weight in gram is 2.5, the service will return total price equal to 750 ringgit. To test the SOAP request and response, I use SOAP UI, which is a powerful tool for working with SOAP web service. In SOAP UI, I imported the WSDL file, which auto-generated, and I will get the SOAP request and the SOAP response. To make this web service work, I also needed a WSDL file, which stands for Web Service Description Language. A WSDL file is like a blueprint or contract that tells the client what methods the service offers, what parameters are required, what data types are used, what the response format looks like, and where the service is located, or in other words, the endpoint URL. Without WSDL, clients would not know how to communicate with the web service correctly. So, the main components that I learn and understand are types that defines the input and output of the data types, the messages, which is input and output message structures, the report type, the list of available operations, the binding, that is the protocol used in our case, SOAP, and finally the service, which contains the URL where the service can be accessed. And next, about mapping SOAP to WSDL. For example, when I send a SOAP request to count total price, the WSDL file tells me that count total price is a valid operation under the port type, that the parameters price per gram and weight in gram are expected under the message tag, that the response will return a string under message tag and the type tag, and the binding tag tells me to use SOAP over HTTP. And lastly, the WSDL and SOAP work hand in hand. WSDL defines the structure, SOAP uses the structure to send and receive the data. This project taught me not just how to build a web service, but also how to communicate with it using tools like SOAP UI, and how to analyze and work with WSDL files. At first, SOAP felt complicated because of the XML structure and strict formatting, but once I saw how WSDL connects everything together, it became much clearer. I believe this knowledge is essential if I want to work in enterprise system, banking services, or cloud APIs that still use SOAP and WSDL. Thank you for watching my reflection. I hope this gives you a good overview of what I've learned in web service.